Welcome to Official Observations, the channel that seeks to make things clear, unemotional, and as honest as possible. It's clear that the subject of remigration is now a popular one amongst certain members of the public, and we thought it's time to have our say on this as well. Let's be clear at the outset. The anxiety many people feel about change in modern Britain is real. It deserves to be heard, not dismissed. But recognizing that anxiety does not require us to accept the wrong diagnosis or to prescribe a cure that would make the country weaker, poorer, and more divided. Those who argue for so-called remigration present it as a solution to Britain's challenges: pressure on housing, public services, wages, identity. But it is not a solution. It is a distraction from the hard truths we must confront about our own choices, our own failures, and our own responsibilities. Because here is the uncomfortable fact. The demographic changes we see in England today did not happen overnight, and they did not happen by accident. They are the result of decades of policy decisions and non-decisions taken by people in power who were overwhelmingly drawn from the same population that now claims to feel displaced. For generations, England's birth rate fell below replacement level. This was not hidden. It was documented, debated, and repeatedly warned about. And yet, when action was required, serious action, there was none. No sustained national effort to make family life affordable. No long-term settlement on childcare. No housing strategy that allowed young people to put down roots. No labour market that offered security instead of insecurity. And who, let us ask honestly, had the greatest capacity to act? The wealthiest individuals, the most powerful institutions, the political and economic elites of this country? Those who could have funded subsidized housing, expanded childcare, supported stable employment, were overwhelmingly of the same ethnicity, the same cultural background, as those who now demand that others should be sent away. If there had been a will to prioritize families with demonstrable roots in Britain before 1914, before 1945, before any chosen historical marker, the tools were there. The money was there. The power was there. What was missing was not migrants. What was missing was leadership. So it will not do to pretend that immigration alone explains our present condition. Immigration filled gaps that we allowed to open. It sustained industries we failed to modernize. It supported public services we refused to properly fund. To blame those who came legally, worked hard, paid taxes, and raised families here is not only unjust, it is an abdication of responsibility. And let me say this plainly. A policy of remigration would not rebuild Britain. It would shrink it. It would undermine the rule of law. It would damage our economy. It would tell millions of people who are British in every meaningful sense, by contribution, by loyalty, by life lived, that their belonging is conditional and reversible. That is not strength. That is fear, masquerading as resolve. The real question facing Britain is not who we send away. It is whether we finally take responsibility for building a country that works, for families, for workers, for communities, old and new alike. That means fixing housing. It means making childcare affordable. It means supporting people to have children if they want them. It means integration that is firm, fair, and confident. And above all, it means honesty. Honesty about past failures, honesty about present realities, and honesty about what kind of nation we want to be. Britain has always been strongest, not when it retreats into grievance, but when it faces change with confidence and purpose. The answer to our challenges lies not in rewriting who belongs, but in rebuilding the foundations we allowed to erode. That is the task of leadership today, and it cannot be solved by looking backwards or by shifting blame, but only by acting at last in the national interest.